and a good Saturday evening to all of you out there in online land. Welcome to Saturday, January the 9th, 2021. Charlie Platt and the Dirt Road Sports Show. We're coming to you live from our studios in Enterprise, Georgia, studios in Thompsontown, Georgia, studios in Tobacco Road, Georgia, and our brand new studio located in Bay 2 at Jerry Cook's Transmission on Columbia Highway in Dothan, Alabama. We are coming to you live tonight in all 57 states across this great United States. We are coming to you live in 5 foreign countries, 2.5 sunken islands. And this week we will be featured on reruns. Our rerun segment will run this week on the Lawrence Welk Show, the Jimmy Dean Show, and live at the Apollo. And tonight, for the very first time, guys, very first time, we are reaching way out tonight. We are on the big screen at Paulie's Polka Palace Pizzeria and Print Shop in Embarrass, Wisconsin tonight.
I've been there.
I've been there.
Yep.
Wisconsin.
So we welcome you to our show tonight. Yes, in Embarrass, Wisconsin, we're on the big screen. Take it away, Charlie.
Well, you didn't give my location that I'm on a campsite on Old Moosey Creek somewhere in southeast Alabama.
Oh, well, you changed on me. I had you at Bay 2 at Jerry Cook's Transmission on Columbia Highway in Dothan.
No, they didn't have a heater in there, and I just couldn't stand it. It's too cold out there now.
I'm with you now.
It is a cold. Do what?
You a warm weather friend?
Yeah. After being out in it all morning this morning and all day yesterday, I'm ready for springtime to get here, boys. I don't know about y'all.
I feel like we're in Wisconsin.
I do too. Yes, it feels like Wisconsin. What about it, Floyd? Rough week, don't you think?
Yeah, rough week, man. January the 5th, 2021. January 5th, that was on last Tuesday. That's the day that we live in infamy in the United States of America, where we pivoted from a free republic to a controlled socialist society. That was on Tuesday. Mark this date down, Tuesday, January 5th, 2021, when we elected those 2 communist senators from the great used-to-be state of Georgia. So that's about it. I'm going to go ahead and throw it out there and see how long Facebook's going to let us stay on. So they're probably going to pull the plug on us pretty quick. So
now, I want to say something. It happened in what they say was the state of Georgia. But I won't go back to what the late Jack Wingate used to say. There's Atlanta, and then there's Georgia.
That's right.
So mainly metro area of Atlanta, Dougherty County, Georgia.
There you go.
You know,
stronghold.
Albany, huh?
That's a stronghold.
One of the last times I went through Albany, Georgia, someone with me needed to stop at a restroom. I said, you need to hold it for a while. No, gotta stop. I stopped at one of the nicer places in Albany, Georgia. And that person walked to the front door, looked in, and come back and said, I'm all right till we get to Cordele.
Yeah, I'm going to hold it.
I'm going to hold it till I get to Cordele.
That's a good thing.
See, that's the problem I have. I make that trip regularly, but I know every bathroom from Colquitt, Georgia to I-75, and then from I-75 as far as it'll run. There is very few convenience stores and bathrooms that I have not patronized.
But there's a reason why you didn't tell the other side of the problem, Charlie. He like your riding partner. He can't hold it. He can't hold it.
No, not when you get a Now, when you get a 46 or 64 ounce Slurpee at each stop, you cannot hold it long. But now, tell me a place in Albany, Georgia, Marvin, you would feel safe in stopping with your Slurpee.
Now I do stop in at the truck stop.
The Pilot there on 300.
Yeah,
that's a good place.
Yeah,
I stop there a lot. I stop there a lot.
That'd be the only place.
Yeah, I stop there.
Okay. Let me make this statement. Let me make this statement. Let me make this statement for everybody. When it comes to me having to go to the bathroom or me getting a Slurpee, I ain't scared of too much.
It's the truth.
Hold on, we got a
Last
call.
trip
Hold on, we got a call coming in here. Yeah, this is the Dirt Road Sports and Charlie Platt Show. You live. Go ahead.
Well, listen, Ron Fuller Welch is trying to break in.
Yeah, where's he at?
Ron Fuller Welch. Now, where is he?
I don't know. We lost him.
Trying to break in. Trying to break into our house.
Hello.
Yeah.
Hello, sir.
Hey, Charlie.
Yes, sir. You're on.
Yeah, how you doing, man? Just want to say hello to you guys. I know you all off to a big party night here, man. So I know y'all gonna have yourself a good time, and just want to say hello. And
how's the weather in Tampa?
That's what I was going to ask you, man. Weather's cold, man.
Weather's bad cold up here. The fireplace is going. Yeah, we got the fire going up here in the cabin tonight, and it's been a cold couple of days. Hello to you and Diana. I hope y'all have a great week, and stay with us tonight. We're going to probably get thrown off of Facebook.
well, that'll be a good deal, man. I'm gonna be watching some Bucks too, man. The Bucks are playing tonight, man. So
all right, good to hear from you, buddy.
All right, my man.
Ron.
All right, how you doing? Good to see you. Good to hear from you.
All right.
All right. We got another call coming in tonight. They wide open on us tonight.
Let them talk. Let them talk.
Right.
Charlie Platt and the Dirt Road Sports Show. You live on there. Go ahead.
All right. We got another call coming in tonight. They wide open on us. Let them talk.
Why, certainly.
You got to cut his phone off.
Cut your phone off because he's getting the feedback on it.
Hello, can you hear me now?
Oh, I hear you. Go ahead. Who is this? Hello, who is this?
Can you hear me now? This is Roger Dodger and Judy Booty, who is sitting in Papa, Georgia at Spring Park, left cold weather in Huntsville, Alabama, and got down here, and it's colder than it is in Huntsville.
Yeah, I know who this is. You know who that is, Floyd, don't you?
I don't know. I can't understand them. They're talking garbled talk on my end.
I know who it is.
I ain't got my audio hooked on good.
See, he need to cut us loose on a tune there, don't he, Marvin?
Yeah. That's Roger Buck Davis on the show.
Man, Huntsville. Yeah, I know.
No. He's in Colquitt, and he said it's colder down here than it is in Huntsville.
I can't understand him.
Buck, you there? He can't. I don't know what.
He's down there in the creek down. He's down there with Phil Junior Tab and that bunch. And
they make
Floyd.
Yeah.
Can you appropriate some money to get Marvin's piccolo tuned up where it'll work like he needs it to work?
It ain't Marvin. It ain't Marvin. I know who he's talking to.
Yeah, it ain't it ain't Marvin.
Well, I wasn't gonna say nothing, but I got to tell y'all about Marvin. I had a little disturbing news about Marvin this week.
Oh, let's hear it. Go.
I know it's the truth because his daddy called me and told me. Now his mama don't think he never done nothing wrong, but now his daddy throw him under the bus right quick. And it seems like Marvin has turned on one of his ace church members out there, one of his more than tithing church members out there. Marvin has done thrown him under the bus, knocked his feet slap out from under. Marvin, you know anything about that?
I don't know nothing about that.
Yeah, I didn't figure you'd want to own up to it. I didn't figure you would. Well, here's the story I got. The story I got was last week, about Monday or Tuesday. Marvin's phone rang, and he did that little thing like he normally do. He hit that button and killed it, you know. Well, it turned back around and rang again, and he killed it again. And this time it turned back around rang the third time. He looked down at it, it had a 202 area code. So he thought that it was going to be one of them, what do you call them, sales calls. Well, he
robocalls.
Yeah. He picked up the phone, and guess who was on the other end of the phone?
Who?
The IRS.
They ain't gonna call you on no phone.
They don't call you.
I'm telling you, this is what his daddy called me and told me. Now he called me yesterday and told me this. The IRS called Marvin. They was checking into one of Marvin's church members out there. And he asked Marvin, he said, "Is this Pastor Spitznagel?" He said, Marvin said, "Yeah." So this is him. He said, "Well, I want to ask you something about some going on out there at the church." He said, "Are you the pastor at the Flat Creek Church out there?" He said, "Yes, I am." He said, "Well, I want to know something." He called a man's name, because I ain't going to call the man's name on the air, but anyway, it's one of Marvin's upstanding members. He said, "I'd like to ask you about this man." Marvin said, "All right, what you want to know about him?" He said, "I want to know." Said, "We was checking into some stuff, and then when we checked into it, we were looking at his spreadsheets, and numbers didn't add up just right. Matter of fact, he was $10,000 short, and we wanting to check up his story and see if you know anything about it." Marvin said, "Well, what's the story you want to know about?" He said, "Well, the man from the RS asked him," he said, "according to this paper right here, what he got wrote down is that he made a $10,000 donation to the Flat Creek Baptist Church."
That's a good one.
He said, he asked Marvin, he said, "Did he do that?" Marvin said, "I don't know, but he's gonna do that." So, I mean, Marvin, is that the truth? Did you throw the man under the bus?
I can neither deny nor confirm.
I'm telling you who told me that story now. I done told you. So, and don't be looking down. Don't look down. We ain't praying. Look up. Yeah.
Look here. Queasel. I've had enough of politicians all week long.
That wasn't no politician there.
That was a politician's answer that Marvin just gave up.
Oh, yeah.
I can neither deny nor confirm.
That's been heard a lot, hasn't it?
It has been heard a lot.
Don't be changing the subject. We want to. I'd like to get some type of answer on that.
Well, we had a $10,000 donation show up in the plate. I'll put it that way. Michael Middleton watching, Trey Bryan watching, our favorite weekly ones, the Oggs from on Smiley Street watching, Melissa Tillery, Christy Austin from Columbus, Roho Man watching us from Albany, Georgia, Mike Stewart, Eddie Roberts, Gerald Jenkins, Cynthia Brookins Heron from Donaldsonville, Roy and Becky Barber from Lake Seminole, Buddy and Peggy Chambers, Maxie and Harry Warren, Luke and Patricia Clearman, not too far from the Enterprise Studios here. The Pickles are watching. The Alstons are watching. Jody Redding, our good buddy from Moultrie, Georgia, is watching. Eric Whitaker watching on the Flat Creek side of the county. Laura Bryan is recovering from pneumonia, and greetings from Jacksonville. Randy Dynamite King watching. Patricia Hurd and Toby Herndon watching us tonight from St. Mary's, Georgia.
Man,
let me read some on. Let me read some on mine. Ann Deloney, Vicky Austin, Billy Kimbrell just showed up.
Hey, that wasn't this Billy Kimball. That's a preacher over there around Moultrie. There's a Billy Kimball preacher over there.
A preacher named Billy Kimball?
I get accused.
I'd like to meet him.
I bet he's on denomination.
He's all denominations.
Yeah. Lee Scott, Norris, Andy Johnson on the River Bend on Highway 27, Henry County, where the temperature is 38 degrees right there on the river tonight. Mary Williamson Fulton. Let's see. Terry Stokes, Mark Jernigan, Jamie Bowman, Bill Donaldson. Mr. Bill, good to have you along. And William Cannon, Irene Conrad, and the list goes on. Chris Vick up in Cartersville, Georgia, and Don Clements, former Dothan City Commissioner and race car driver from way back there. Yeah, Floyd, you'd remember.
Yeah,
Don
man,
Clements.
I remember them boys. Yeah, yes, sir. I loved it. Rocket
Good
Speedway, Haleburg. We went in there one night at Rocket Speedway. It was me and Frog Wells. I don't know who his girlfriend was, and me and Nadine, we were double dating. So where y'all want to go, girls? And we had already took them to the car race. We called it. They had a class called a bomber class. Bombers, the bombers. They said,
bomber?
we want to go to bomber, BOMBER, bomber. Said we want to go to bomber racing. I'll just tell you, my Marvin, just ease down now, Marvin. Tune it back just a little bit. Now let me tell the story. Had the bomber say we want to go to the bomber races. And so anyway, we rolled around a little bit, and so we decided we're gonna go to the bomber races. We walked in there, walking up the aisle right there. Man, they'd already started. We got kind of a late start in there. They were beating and banging on one another. We were standing there by the fence, trying to find out where we was going. And we standing there by the fence, and a tire come off and hit the fence right there where Frog was at and knocked him on the ground. We thought he was unconscious. He was just semi-unconscious, but knocked the tire. He come running all around there, checking on us and the girls and everything. The girls, they were screaming and hollering, carrying on. All of us. Nadine wasn't. She know there wasn't nothing wrong with it. He just failed mostly when that tire come up there trying to dodge it. But that's how close we came that night over there. I think we was at the Rocket Speedway that night. I think that's about as close as we ever came. The four of us together getting killed at one time. At the Rocket. That'd have been a heck of an obituary right there now.
Whatever happened?
It knocked dirt. I mean, it was dirt everywhere. Knocked dirt all in Nadine's hair and that other girl's hair. They was dirt everywhere, flying everywhere. We sat on down.
Who was the other girl?
I can't remember, Marvin. You ask way too many questions.
Hey, whatever happened to the old Rocket Speedway? Is it still there? They tore it down.
It's still there. It's still there. They teach 18-wheeler driving classes out there. It's an 18-wheeler driving school.
We saw folks.
I'd like to see some of them 18-wheelers go around some of the races I used to see out there.
Yeah, they used to be old boy at Haleburg. He Charlie knows him. Rojo Snell Grove run over there. He run over Model A.
That's it, Bobby Rojo.
6 on the cars over there, and boy, that Rojo son, he could stand that thing. He looked like Curtis Turner coming around them curves there, man. He could be grind. They have dirt flying everywhere over there. And I had some kind of good fun at them old car races. Whoo, can't have fun like that no more. Can't even go to a car race now. Go to a car race now, you don't even know who the folks are. You don't even know who's running. They all look alike. Same kind of same everything.
Oh, we got a champion here, old Marvin cousin. He was the track champion over there. He went over there and won the whole thing.
Yeah.
Over at
Ashford. Not Ashford. What's the name of it? Cottonwood.
Cottonwood.
Or was he at Haleburg?
Wherever it was, he won the whole thing.
Yes, he's watching tonight. Yeah. He's watching that. Said he just put him some sliced hog jowls in the air fryer.
I remember what he told me. He told me he wasn't the best car racer that there was, but he was just the best one anybody had ever seen. That's pretty good.
Well, he retired early, didn't he?
Oh, he did. He don't want it all. I mean, there wasn't no more challenges for him. NASCAR, he was too talented for NASCAR, so he just had to come on and come back to Cochran and settle down and work hard as he works every day now.
Well, that was some kind of good wholesome entertainment, though. We go to them car races.
Oh, it was.
You can see all kind of folks there having a good time. They'd be there with the girlfriends, and And I never did see no at the car race. I never did see no boys there with their boyfriends. I never did see that. I never did see no girls there with their girlfriends.
Did you have to know which?
Huh? Go ahead, Marvin.
No.
Go ahead, get it out of your system now.
What about? Did you have to determine which porta potty to go in?
Never had to. No, they didn't have no porta potties. That was before porta potties had been invented.
You went out behind the
They had a toilet. They had an outhouse, a shed.
Whoa. I can go along with what Queasel said. They didn't have enough facilities, so most folks just went out in the woods.
Yeah, you go hide somewhere. Go down and hide. Everybody knowed what she was doing, but it wasn't no big deal. Lord have mercy. No, they wasn't. They didn't. Nobody get confused about what gender they were long about in then that time. Sometimes some of them old boys get confused about kind of what they which one. Anyway, y'all go ahead.
What have you ever seen a figure 8 race?
I never went to a figure 8 race. I seen it on TV, and I thought that was the funniest thing I'd ever seen in my life.
Man, I went to. We used to go to them down there in St. Petersburg, Florida, at the Sunshine Speedway.
I've been
and them
there
cars come through there and meet in the middle. Man, let me tell you what, them was some natural born. I don't know if they was brave or fools, which one they was, but now they would do it. That was something.
Speedway. My aunt and uncle lived in Tampa. My mama's
really?
sister married a Sicilian from Sicily. He came over to the United States on a ship when he was about 13 or 14 years old. He came here on a ship, and they quarantined him in Ellis Island because they had smallpox on the ship. But he came into this country now. Let me tell you something. This is. I'm glad you opened this up. This is a good subject for us to talk about immigration. You know, they always talk about all these Democrats. They always go talking about immigration, a land of immigrants. Yeah, we are a land of immigrants. Some immigrants came here, but they had a skill. You had to have a skill to get on the boat to come here. And his skill was his trade was he was a tailor. He made suits. He was like 14, 15 years old. He made suits, and he had a family that was here. But anyway, they lived in Tampa. They wound up in Tampa. And I'd go down there. Mom and Daddy go visit down there during the summertime. We'd stay about a week with them down there in Tampa. And I'd read the newspaper. I always loved to read a newspaper. I'd read the Tampa Tribune. And they'd have ads in there about going to the speedway out there at Golden Gate Speedway. That was it. That
Golden Gate. Yep.
Golden
Gate. There was one of them down there too.
Can I say something about that?
Yeah, go ahead.
You got a connection to that. The guy, and everybody's gonna know the name on this, that I used to do wrestling with, Gordon Soley.
Yes, sir.
That I announced with for years. Gordon was part owner and announcer at Golden Gate Speedway.
How about that?
Yeah,
but I
didn't know that.
I talked my uncle. I talked to Daddy, and I talked Daddy into it, and talked to my uncle. I read in the newspaper, and they show pictures of them old cars out there. They had them old cars when they first started putting wings on the top of them. They were both modified, open wheel cars, had them fuel injected Chevrolet engines in them. And I talked Daddy and Uncle Manuel. His name was Emmanuel Michiki, the Sicilian, who had a green cigar about 8 inches long stuck in his mouth continuously. It was like one. He'd buy them by the grocery sack full down in Ebo City, but that's another story. But I got him to take me out there, and I could hear them. You could hear them before you ever got there, Charlie. You could hear them. Yeah, man. You could hear that. Man, you could hear that power coming in. Man, that was as close. At that time in my life, I was about probably 13 years old, 13, maybe 14. That was about as close to utopia as I had ever come in my life. That had ever been at that point in my life. When I walked in there and I saw them coming around that track, they'd be on that left front wheel would be up in the. When they come around the curve, they'd be up in there. They'd be toting it. They'd be on 3 wheels. And they'd be coming in. They'd come by you, and you could feel the pressure off of that internal combustion engine pushing against your chest. It'd come by there. They'd be a string of them coming by there. That was as excited as I had ever been in my life up to that point. Now later on in life, you know, I other things excited me. But at that point, as I was an adolescent, That was one of the most exciting things I'd ever seen or done and experienced in my life. And that's a testimony.
That brings up another little thing that reminds me of my radio days, and this will remind you, Floyd. Just about everybody had a racetrack advertise. Radio was the main form of advertising back in the 60s, 70s, and the first part of the 80s. When you had a racetrack, you were on radio stations. When you just mentioned that you'd hear it before you got there, that was a closing line. Whether it was Rocket Speedway, Montgomery International Speedway, Montgomery Dragway, Dothan Dragway, when you're near it, you'll hear it.
That's exactly
That's right. You remember
that? Yep.
Everybody close out the commercials, but when you near it, you'll hear it.
I got a question, Floyd.
Go ahead.
You said what, like the adolescence? That was the point the most exciting point in time in life.
Utopia is the word, Marvin. Utopia. Okay. When you're standing there witnessing something you've never seen in your life, you'd only seen pictures of it. That's utopia.
That's right.
Hey, be careful, Floyd. He's finna try to take you somewhere. Be careful now. He's
fishing. Hey, forget about the fishing report. He's fishing.
I know it.
Were there things after that in your life that were?
I just said that, Marvin. You weren't listening. I just said that. See, you got hung up on that at me being 13 years old. See?
Floyd Town. Oh,
yeah, Floyd Town. Hey, guys, we got some new ones coming on. Jackie Snodgrass King watching here. How about this, Floyd? Miss Deborah Heath is watching us from the Villages in Ocala, Florida.
Yeah,
the Villages, Florida.
Hey, look at here. She puts on big shows down there. She puts on. Hey, Miss Heath, you need to get us down there.
That's right.
Cecil Grant watching. Raymond English watching. Cecil Grant watching. Raymond English watching. Mac and Bear and Jan Calhoun watching. Stevie Donnelly from Baker County. And listen here, you ready for this one? Willa Nook Farms live on the air with us tonight watching.
Oh man, we got the greatest audience in the world. We got real folks out there. Stevie Donnelly. Stevie Donnelly. You know he is CEO of McMurray Auto Parts here in Cockwood. And I went in there, I bought me one of them little booster box things, you know, where you jump your car off if it's broke down side of the road or whatever, got a dead battery. I went in there, he fixed me up, he hooked me up. He gave me the senior citizen discount, if you will.
All right.
And he was watching us last Saturday night when I was telling the story about all of us running into the side of the youth center and his uncle, Warren Donnelly, being in the car and pulled that plug of hair out of it, you know, that windshield caught his hair and pulled it out. He thought that was funny, and he knowed it. He knowed it's the truth. I mean, he knowed it had to be the truth. I mean, it had to be. But he's a great guy. Stevie, we love you, baby. You come from some good folks. I'll tell you what. Your grandmama was one of my favorite people in my whole life as I was growing up. Miss Bertha Donnelly. She could tell you a ghost story sitting on her front porch there, and your hair on your arm and on your neck would stand up, and she would tell it to you. She was awesome.
Marvin,
you know, we got really, really good people that watch us. I mean,
we do. Everybody watches us, good folks.
Marvin, I want you to look
they're like-minded.
Look on there and see if Chris Mose is watching this. Because last week his wife first said I was chewing gum too much, and it was bothering her. So I can't chew chewing gum this week. She one of them school teachers, and I want to know if he's watching. If he ain't watching, I'm gonna go get me some chewing gum.
He hadn't posted if he is. Now you got one on here, another one of your firemen, Eric Whitaker. He said, I've seen John Wells come around the track on 3 wheels, but it was because he had lost one of them.
Yeah, he's too cheap to buy 4.
He had that thing balanced up there. I seen John Edwards' brother Frog on 3 wheels one night. One of them was flat and he was still rolling.
Hey,
he was flapping. He ain't down change no time. He didn't feel like it.
Floyd, going back to the story you were telling about immigrants coming to America, John Taylor says you had to have a trade, be an apprentice, or be indentured.
That's right. Be a servant to somebody. He had a trade. Right. My uncle had a trade. That was an interesting story. He told me, I used to love to listen to him talk. He was so interesting. And but he came from Sicily, and that never left him. His home never left him. Sicily never left him. But I was talking to him one day, and he said, I knew, and he spoke broken English. Even when he died, he was like 97 years old when he died. He still spoke broken English. But he said, I knew, he said that when I got on the boat, he said that my mother told me, she said, you get off of the boat and you go to New York City. When you get into New York City, said, you look for a fruit stand. And they were hundreds of them lined up, or thousands. She said, you're looking for a fruit stand. You tell them who your family is. And if they are not your family, they know somebody who will be your family. He said the second fruit stand he came to, he was in quarantine in New York on Ellis Island for 30 days because they had smallpox on the ship. He said he got off the ship and he came in, and he said the second fruit stand he came to in New York City was his first cousin. Now tell me that ain't an act of providence. And he did that, and they stayed in New York up there, and he worked with his cousin but he practices his trade being a tailor. And then him and his brother, two brothers, they decided they were gonna come down to Baltimore, and they got down in Baltimore down in there, and then they decided they're gonna go to Tampa, Florida. He said I could buy a lot to build a house on in Tampa, Florida. I think this was about 1919 or 18 or something like. Let's say he would have been. Yeah, it was about 17 or 18, somewhere along. It was before the First World War. He said I could have bought a lot to build a house on for 50 cents in Tampa, Florida. 50 cents. He said it was barren. It was nothing. He said it was just dirt land everywhere. And Likes Brothers, the meat processing people, owned most of the property around there. But anyway, he went to Tampa, and while he was in I think when he and his brothers were in Baltimore, he kind of got connected with some people who could make things happen. Him being Sicilian, and his aunt told Nadine a story one time about they had him some slot machines in the fruit. He opened him up a fruit stand in Tampa. Came to Tampa. They had some slot machines in there.
I bet it was a fruit stand.
She said, I didn't know they were illegal. And yeah, right, yeah. But anyway, he wanted to buy some land down here. And the fella owned a bunch of land, big landowner down here. My uncle wanted to retire up here. And man wouldn't sell him no land, wouldn't sell him none. You know, he got mad about it. My uncle got mad about it. He said, I got the money to pay cash for it. He said, I can buy what I want to buy. And the man wouldn't sell him no land. And he said, I got it so bad. He said, I started to make a call to Chicago. He said, I get to make a one call to Chicago and there will be no more. And he called the man's name. But he never made the call.
But he was connected, was he?
He was connected. But he worked for every dime he got, he worked for it. I don't reckon he didn't ever get no welfare because there wasn't no such a thing as welfare, but they had to work. But he would go out in the woods. I used to go down there and stay with him in the summertime. He had a wood yard also down there. He was diversified. He had a wood yard, and he would go out in these places out there. The Likes Brothers owned all this land. He'd go out there and cut down cypress trees, about 6 or 8 inch big around cypress trees. He'd cut them down. He'd bring them in there to his lot there where he had a lot, and he would skin the bark off of them with drawing knives. Y'all know what a drawing knife is? You know what a drawing knife is, Marvin? It's a thing that's got handles on it, and it's got a blade across there, and you slide it across there, and it takes the bark off of. And I would go down there, and I would make me a little extra income skinning cypress posts with that drawing knife. He'd pay you a nickel a post, and it was 8-foot long posts and about 8 inches big around, and it'd take you about 15 or 20 or 30 minutes to skin one of them cypress posts, but I was making a nickel a post down there.
Wow.
But he was selling post and fence wire. And it didn't matter what it was. He'd sell it. He could make a money. I could have make a money, he said. I always had a gift for making a money.
You know, for what I want, I remember Mr. Manuel because I worked at the bank when I was in high school in the late 80s. And I remember one thing he always did. He'd come in at Christmas time and he'd always want to send all of his relatives over in Sicily a cashier's check. And I remember we had to do, I bet there was 30 cashier's checks. They may not have been but for $50 or $100 a piece, but he sent them to every one of them over there in Sicily.
I got a question.
Go ahead. I know what you're talking about, Marvin. Yep. Go ahead, Charlie.
Yeah.
Was he laundering money? Do you think?
He made money. He
made money. Yeah.
He had money, didn't he, Marvin? He's dead and gone. They all dead and gone. His wife dead and gone. So we ain't talking out of school. He was well healed. Let me tell you.
He was.
But he could
well healed.
Yeah. He was a bull hog.
He could call.
Yeah, he could bowl with a big.
He could call Chicago and get something done.
If he wanted to.
He could mention names in Chicago and get things.
You still got any of those names in Chicago, Floyd?
I never did know none of them names. I never did know none of them names down there in Chicago.
Well, boys,
Go ahead. I'm thinking them old stories. Y'all don't want to hear that mess.
No, I said go ahead.
Y'all go ahead.
I got on the phone our fishing report. Reverend Barwick. Reverend Barwick, you there?
I am here, Marvin. Yes, sir.
Yeah, well, we're glad to have you on our fishing report today. And been kind of rough weather this week. What was the fishing like this week?
The fishing was a no-go this week, Marvin. The rain has dumped a hole one day, and it was moving so fast, high, and muddy. I ain't the smartest guy, but I had enough sense to know just come on back to the house. So I did not catch anything this week.
That was
they didn't stop you from trying.
That's the same story you had last week, ain't it, Queasy?
That's it. That's exactly right.
We just hit the rewind button on that and play that again.
If he'd have been telling the truth, that'd have been the one he'd have been telling from the
beginning. Listen, I can get talked to like this now. I'm on here to be encouraged. I did find that.
We are encouraged.
Boy,
let me tell you something good.
He got judged. I heard one of his deacons told him that the Lord was judging him. On his last trip, he went, "Oh, well, now that's what I heard."
Yeah. Well, I tell you what, I do my best to listen to my deacons, and I'm very thankful if I get to see them at church. But I do listen to them. I do. Hey, listen, I want to tell you about something good that's happened to me. I have had the cheapest vacation I've ever had in my life this week. And let me tell you how it happened. My dear wife went to see her mother for a couple of days. I have been at my house by myself for 2 going on 3 days. I forgot how good that was. And I'm not saying this sarcastically.
It may be a going thing with you too after that.
No, I meant it as the Lord has blessed me with some solitude. Is what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Keep talking, preacher.
You might be what they call a frequent flyer from here on out.
No. And the Lord set me free from politics this week. Jesus said, let me tell you what Jesus said. Let me preach 1 minute. Jesus said, not my kingdom. If it was, I'd be fighting for. Looking for a city and I've had a good vacation.
Hey, that's a
you're going fishing this week, right?
I'm planning on it, although I've already got a couple of ministerial requirements coming up in the beginning of the week.
Oh, it's Sunday you got to preach, but Marvin, he can't go this week fishing this week. Sunday's the day that they preach, you know.
Yeah.
Y'all keep on now. I am going. I mean, y'all don't give up on me. Y'all kind of beat me down. This feels like a deacon's meeting or something.
Hey, brother, I got full confidence in you. I know that when you go, you're gonna fill up the cooler.
Well, when I go, I'm gonna have a blast while it lasts. I do know that, and it's like one of my deacons told me about this. When you go fishing, if you can't catch any, just lie about it. So hey,
that's right. That's right.
Well, have a good week,
right.
Reverend Barwick. We hope you a good day tomorrow, and we look for some pictures this coming Saturday to make up for the past 2 weeks.
Okay, and hey, one more thing, Marvin. On that joke.
Wait, you broke breaking up there. Hold on, you hit the rewind button.
He gone.
We lost him.
Yeah,
we lost him.
Gone.
Yeah, he's
He
gone.
got mad at you, Marvin.
Yeah.
Marvin needs to have that piccolo tune. I'm telling y'all.
The Piccolos too. My cousin Brian Wells said that the Lykes brothers was the first shipping industry people in the Gulf of Mexico to Cuba until the embargo, and then Cuba hung them on cattle.
That's interesting. Yeah, Lykes brothers used to own all. Hey man, they own from Tampa to Homestead. I think just about. I think you could probably walk on Lykes brothers' land at one time from Tampa. You might have to cross the road from Tampa to Homestead. They owned it.
Good, not a
That's a long way.
They were some kind of strong folks down there. You know that 6 L's that used to be in Dawsonville, the tomato folks?
Yeah.
Lykes brothers. That's Lykes brothers. The 6 brothers, 6 L's. Yep.
Yeah, they used to have a private jet that flew into Donaldsonville.
Oh man, they had several private jets. They jarred the ground when they walked, buddy.
Hey, can I have about 60 seconds here? I'm gonna take it even if y'all don't tell me. I want to give you some this week some interesting things outside of politics that happened in the news. Number one, a man stopped for a salad in North Carolina and won $100,000 in the lottery. An Indian athlete did 85 four-finger push-ups in 1 minute. A ring-tailed cat was removed from a Colorado home's boiler room. A cat was reunited with its owner after 11 days in the airport ceiling. And the last one and not the least one, but there will be a no pants subway ride canceled for 2021 due to COVID-19. The organizers of the No Pants Subway Ride, an annual January event held on public transportation in more than a dozen cities worldwide, has been canceled due to COVID-19.
Oh my goodness!
What are we gonna do now for entertainment?
I do not know. I'm at a loss.
I already had my tickets bought.
I would say something there, Marvin, but I ain't.
Oh yeah, I understand.
I'm gonna cut you some slack.
I understand.
Hey, you remember the other day? One day this week, I tell you about the folks who wouldn't get up to come to Sunday school. And so we just loaded up Sunday school on the church bus and took it to them, caught them out there in the bedroom. Reckon we just let that shit stay anonymous, or do you want to let that name slip?
Well, I mean, they don't even, Floyd and Charlie don't even know the story.
Oh, yeah.
I know the story. What are we talking about?
I know the story.
I know the story. I know everything, Marvin.
Yeah, he knows the story. Well, I'd rather let her sweat about it for a week or so to see if we're going to call out names.
Yeah, don't
let
call
her
out
sweat
names
it
tonight.
Yeah, let's let her sweat about it. See if we're gonna call out that when the Sunday school bus wound up at the house, that they was in the bed and she run in the bathroom and locked the door. We'll let her stew on that for a week or so. Then we might talk about it a little later.
That's a good idea. A good idea.
Yeah, because you don't get much on her.
I know,
but we got her caught that time.
Floyd, you got any lists this week?
Yeah, man, I got some lists this week. I've been working on a list all week. It just comes to me. It's like an epiphany, it comes to me. But I got some short lists here for y'all tonight. If y'all want to hear some short lists now, here they come right here. I got a bunch of them. I don't know if I'm going to tell them all tonight or not, but I got a bunch of them. Here's one right here. Government-run programs that have not wasted taxpayers' money. Here's one: living. This is gonna get ugly here now. I'm telling you. All right. I got to listen to this one now. Living Jehovah's Witnesses that declined an emergency blood transfusion. Huh? Oh, that's mean, ain't it? Yeah, that's mean. Here one, Amish computer programmers. Fat-free Amish diets. This is a list, short list. Rednecks who are confused about what gender they are. Well, Muslim dog groomers. In Muslims women's rights groups. And here's one right here. Think about this one. A list of Pentecostal Democrats. Here one. Other than acting like white trash, the talents of the Kardashian women. Catholic priests, Jewish rabbis, and Free Will Baptist preachers that can buck dance. That's funny. That's funny to me. Can you see a Free Will Baptist preacher and a Catholic priest, Jewish rabbi buck dancing?
No, and you ought to know because you the buck dancing champion of the world.
I'm buck dancing king. Here we go. Look at
that. Man.
List of convenience stores owned by people whose last name is Smith. Oh, Lord have mercy. Hey, here's one here. Before Reverend Emmanuel Cleaver, congressman, the list of people who ended their prayers with amen and a woman.
Ooh. I knew it was coming.
Here's the last one right here.
I knew it was coming.
I'm going to send this one home to you right here. Members of Congress that are broke.
Ooh.
I'm going to leave you with that one.
Those last two are real good. They're all good, but those last two.
There's something to think about, you know. There's something to think about. I hope y'all think on them things. And I mean, I don't mean to be mean or ugly or nothing, but it's just things I consider to be a very short list.
A very, very short list.
Very short list of individual people.
Floyd, I don't know who this is, but I have gotten 3 text messages from them, and I don't even recognize the area code. And it says, Floyd rules. I am his #1 fan. And then they come back again. Floyd rules. And again, I am his #1 fan.
That's great, man. That's good. Yeah. 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 So you can send a donation to P.O. Box 735, Colquitt, Georgia. Hey, send it to Floyd B. Lloyd, Colquitt, Georgia.
Hey,
yeah, I get it.
Floyd.
Yeah.
Floyd. John Taylor says, add to that list Muslim hog farmers.
Yeah, Muslim pork farmers. They don't like hogs for some. They don't like hogs or dogs or women for some reason or other. I don't know. Maybe it's their religion. You think?
Hey, quick.
Oh, they done pulled the plug on.
Yeah, they done pulled your plug, Marvin.
They thought they were pulling mine. They pulled Marvin.
They thought they were going for Floyd, but they got Marvin.
Go ahead, Marvin. Can we hear?
Oh,
no, you was mute. We couldn't hear you. That's what I'm saying.
You can't hear me now.
I can hear you now, but we couldn't hear you a while ago.
Oh, I don't know. I just said
you had some wisdom, some molecule.
The Sunday school people are watching.
Who?
Yeah. I got a text saying we watching. Well, why you think we said it? If we didn't think you wasn't watching, we wasn't gonna say it. But you need to keep watching and you need to keep sweating because the name is coming. You just don't know when. Yeah. And the rest
we were revealing.
Yeah, the rest of the story is coming now. If the right amount of donations start coming in to the right charities, such as the Dirt Road Sports charities, that those names might not come up, but as it stands right now, I see them coming in the future. Well, along with the rest of the story.
Significant donation would be a good term to use.
Yeah,
significant.
Yeah. Yes.
Not just a donation, significant.
Yeah. And we will not embellish it any or make anything else up that ain't the truth. Yeah. You have our word on that.
They may cut us off. They pull the plug on us, but if they pull the plug on us, they're gonna pull the plug on us because we telling the truth.
Well, you saw what? Did you see what Lindsey Graham said about the Twitter people? He said let me how did he say? He said that the Ayatollah could tweet, but the president couldn't, but Trump couldn't. Yep. Did you see that? Now that's how about that now?
That's a true story. Yeah. And the Democrats love the Ayatollah more than they love us. People like us. They love the Ayatollah
exactly.
more. They love the Ayatollah more than they love conservatives. That's
here's what Lindsey Graham said. He said, Twitter may ban me for this, but the Ayatollah can tweet, but Trump can't.
That's right. It's gone, boys. They're plugging away on it. But anyway, we still here. We still here.
Yeah, we're gonna be here. Yeah, we're gonna be here till they, I'm
gonna be here till the Lord calls me.
But just don't forget now, they cut Buddy Johnson off. If they cut him off, look out now. Oh yeah, right in the middle of the song.
He's still pouted. Ain't he still pouted up?
Yeah, he's mad about it.
I would be too.
I would be too, man, if I was doing that and they muted me.
Queasel and Floyd, Charlie don't know Roger Buck like we do, but he's in town and he just sent me a text. He said he wants us to come by and say hello while they're here because he wants to go over some of the stories that he knows about us that we have not or cannot tell on the air.
Oh, I need to come over and record.
Wait, Marvin, ask Roger Buck. Floyd especially knows some stories on Roger Buck too.
That we will tell on the air.
We got a TV show, man. He can talk. You got the Miller County Liberal, Buck. We got a TV show. We love you, Buck.
They watch us every week.
I tell you what he can do. He can put on a show. Now you got to give Buck credit. He
what
can
you
put
talking
on
about?
a show.
He's saying
he is as good as they ever been. He can do it.
He having more folks out there. They be smoothing around. They be bicycling out there. They be dancing. They look like they're riding a bicycle.
You ever noticed
TK's? He was doing Mustang Sally, son. Everything moving on him.
Yeah, they don't have no wallflower when he be singing, man. Them folks get up there and be moving around, dancing around like you said, Marvin. Everything be moving, but the bowels. They can't help it, man. He gets up there moving.
It be smooth.
He gets some moving.
Man, he's smooth. He like honey. He just like honey, just smooth as honey. Y'all remember that night in Dawsonville over there? We were doing that show deal over there. The Roger Buck song over there.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Y'all remember that? Then he was gonna come up there and talk to us. He got tongue-tied. He was out of his league when he got up there with the Dirt Road Sports. He could sing.
Charlie, what was you fixing to say?
Was that the Dawsonville night that y'all had me on the Naugahyde couch out there? Fine. I mean,
we put
I've never felt more honored of all the awards and things I've done through the years. I'm proud of all of them, but being placed on the front row of a Dirt Road Sports show on a Naugahyde couch.
That's right.
Naugahyde love seat, I think is what it was.
Nothing but the best for our friends.
Hey, that's up there with having box seats at on what is that, Broadway, man? What you talking about?
Yeah, man, better than that.
I mean that seat was worth $1,000, Charlie, do you realize how blessed you are? I mean, you got to sit in the $1,000 seat, and you're the only man in the world that has had baby goats turned loose on your TV set live on the air.
I don't know of any other in the history of television. You're absolutely correct. I'm very blessed and honored person to have had all that done.
I mean, I thought the same thing. That's why I said it.
And Nexstar is still trying to get the hazmat folks to get all the goat pills out of the TV studio, I'm sure.
They still some
Yeah,
there.
they some stuck back there. All right, we got about 4 minutes, Charlie.
Oh, what a week it has been, folks. We got some things that we have got to really pay close attention to. I don't condone, and none of this crowd, I don't think of the four of us condone any type of violence. But I just got to say, I'm amazed that nothing happened this summer. Nobody tore up anything. Nobody burned any people, their businesses and things like that, and all the riots that took place. I've never seen anybody treated like Donald J. Trump has been treated in this whole thing. And we're at a very, 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 very dangerous time in this country. We need to pray for this country and pray that we get things straightened out because we're not living in good times. We're not living in good times. We're living in end times, according to what the Bible says. And we've got to really, really pay close attention to everything that goes on in our lives. And we do not need Washington, D.C. as the 51st state of this union by any means. Disappointing week politically. And to anybody that's friends with me on Facebook and you think the Democratic way of life is the way we all should go and their platforms and the way they have handled this thing, please unfriend me and that'll just be one less person I have to deal with. But we do need prayer for our nation and for our communities. Floyd?
Good words, Charlie. Before we came on the air here, me and Nadine was sitting in there we done eat supper. We were sitting there in our den watching TV, and the Gaithers came on. Love the Gaithers. They have, and this was an old one where they had some of the old folks on there, all a group singing like angels. And I'm sitting here thinking about the how we feel helpless, how we feel hopeless. And as you were talking, Charlie, I wrote down, and I know all of y'all, all three of y'all know who I'm talking about, the Hensons. Y'all remember the Henson Quartet? Kenny Henson used to be the lead man, and they sang, and man, I'll tell you what, that's the most beautiful singing I ever heard in my life. There's two songs that they sung that. Then I'll play them sometime. I get on my piccolo here, and I'll tune them in. I love to listen to that real gospel music because it has a message in it that goes to your soul. It goes to the marrow in your bones. And one of those songs is "He Will Calm the Troubled Waters." Now, if that one don't move you, I'm telling you now, He will calm the troubled waters of your soul, and He will make you whole. Y'all tune them in on YouTube there. Look at them, the Hensons. He will calm the troubled waters. It's an old one, and they're gonna be wearing them tuxedo suits. Pay no attention to that. Listen to the words. Listen to the music.
Strong.
And the other one is the Lighthouse.
Amen.
And if that don't give you hope, if that don't give you some stability in your life and something to look forward to, He will calm the troubled waters of your soul. And the Lighthouse. Listen to the lyrics of the Lighthouse. Y'all do that for me. Listen to it and get a blessing out of it, just like I have. And I've got a blessing from being with y'all tonight. I enjoy it. I recall things. I'm sitting in here recalling things from my youth, things that happened to me. It's just a good feeling to be able to recall those good things in your life and to reflect back and enjoy those things. Do that in your life. Reflect back on people that were important in your life and people that made a difference in your life. Reflect back on some of the things they told you and some of the lessons you learned from them. Queasel, that's it from me.
All right, brother. Well, I just got two little things I want to leave you with. like everybody's referred to this past week. This past week kind of made a light bulb go off inside my head up there, and they plenty of room for a light bulb. And so here's what I have decided: 2021 is going to be a great year. I don't care what happens; it's going to be a great year because I made up my mind. I'm turning off the news and I'm picking up the Bible. That's what I'm gonna follow through 2020. Anything else I've tried to support has failed me. But the one thing that has never failed me, I never pick it up until I ain't got nothing else to pick up. So I'm changing all that. No more news. All the time I waste watching the news, I'm gonna spend reading the Bible because that is where the hope is. That's where the confidence is, and that's where you need to know that. He said, "What can the world do to you?" Because He's greater than the world. So that's it. Turn that news off. Turn all that junk off. Pick up the Bible. Spend the time you waste watching the television. Pick up the Bible. See what it does. And I'm gonna leave you with these little bitty words of wisdom, and then we'll let Marvin take us out of it. Listen to what I'm fitting to tell you now. If I ain't never told you nothing before, true, this is true. Common sense. It's a flower.
Amen.
Marvin?
I think we were freezing up there a little bit, but Creasel, thank you for that. And we want to say thank you to all of you for inviting us into your home every week. I don't know why you put up with us, but we appreciate it. We love to just come and lighten you a little bit and try to be an encouragement to you and keep you up to date on what's going on. But we do appreciate you every Saturday joining us. Us four crazy fools that love each other and love the Lord. Let me leave you with this scripture of the week. This is very fitting. Jesus came and told his disciples, I have been given all authority in heaven and on earth. Therefore, go and make disciples of all the nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father and the Son and the Holy Spirit. Teach these new disciples to obey all the commands I have given you, and be sure of this, I am with you always, even to the end of the age.
Amen.
Tomorrow is Sunday. Go to church. If you can't go to church, turn on the internet, turn on the television, give God his day, worship him tomorrow. And listen, keep your head up, keep your eyes up, keep looking toward heaven, and keep trusting in the Lord. His ways are not our ways, and his thoughts are not ours. But I can promise you this, he will never leave us. We love y'all. Y'all have a great week. God bless you, and good night. We'll see you next Saturday night, same place, same time. We love y'all.
Good night.
See y'all.
Good night,
See
y'all.
y'all.